So if you want to know what they are, please continue watching this video. Before starting sharing any experience, I have a saying for you, I have an advice for you. If I can practice my English, then you can do it. The reason is because I was born in a remote area and my family at that time was not in a good condition for spending a lot of money for me to study English. So understand my condition and also understand that I can have another opportunity for learning English via free channels such as YouTube or forum or some other website. Then I just took that chance to study it. As you know, when I was at high school, I majored in math and I studied math from the 7th grade into the 12th grade. So that a lot of time for studying a science subject. For math students, I personally didn't like English because I couldn't find the beauty of English or how to conquer it because my English score at school at that time was very, very poor. So that really demotivated me for learning English further. But after entering to the university and starting my freshman, I realized the importance of English for my studying and also for my future, for my career advancement. So at that time, I focused a lot of time for learning English. You're probably asking me how a math student could study English and what's her method. Today, with 3 tips, I hope that after watching this video, you will apply these 3 tips immediately, and if only for a very short time, a few months or even a year, and you get improved using these 3 tips, please go into my website or going to this video and type out that how you do it. You can share your experience of speaking English. Alright, so the tip number 1 is listening. My very first starting exercise for learning English was to listen. And there's 2 ways to listen. Number 1 is passive and number 2 is active. So at that time, because I couldn't understand English well, I started listening by passively listening to the video, the YouTube, TV show, or even the radio. So I spent about 10 to 12 hours a day just to passively listen to English. So I could listen while walking, while taking a bath, or even while going to sleep. So I just tried to make a habit of listening to English because I thought at that moment that if I listen very well, probably one day I can understand what they're talking about, and for sure that the word or the sound in English, days after day, they just comes to my ears, and they just comes a lot to my ears. So my ears have a very, very sensitive to the sound and to the voice. That's why when I started learning pronunciation, it's pretty easy for me to master it or to learn it comparing to my peer. So the very first step is to listen to the video passively or some other media platform that you can find. Second one, while practicing listening skill, spend time for your pronunciation. And at the time, I know that I couldn't have enough money to go to any English course, so I installed a software in my computer, a dictionary. And the first dictionary that I used in my life was Oxford Dictionary. But at the time, I couldn't understand that there would be too many English accents, like British accent, Australian accent, or American accent. So I just put everything as default when I installed the software. From that very moment, my accent is British accent. as some of my friends told me that I have a London accent or some British accent. But after that, when I feel around American accent when studying TOEFL, I realized that American accent is very beautiful and it's much easier for me to learn because, you know, American, they try to streamline their English so foreigners like me can study English in a faster way comparing to some other accent. That's why when I'm learning pronunciation myself, I figure out some of the rules that I can apply generally or some of the special or difficult words that Vietnamese often face. That's why when today I'm going to teach pronunciation for my students, it's pretty easy for me to pick their mistakes because I used to make those mistakes. And it's pretty easier for me to explain to them how to correct their pronunciation. So please remember, number 2, try to work really hard, really hard, squeeze your time to study pronunciation and intonation because that will make you more confident when speaking English. And the tip number 3, please spend time studying vocabulary. So how can I study vocabulary? I make it as enjoyable as possible. So I don't sit down and just write tons of words on paper for learning vocabulary. I didn't do it. I bought the stories, I bought the books, and I start reading books and stories days after day and try to take notes on the vocabulary and try to remember all of them, because while reading the stories, the new words would repeat over and over again, and at that time we would have a very good opportunity to remind the word and to remember the new words. Or another way for me to learn vocabulary is, since I knew that I was not good at some English subjects like psychology in English or law in English or astronomy in English, so I installed a software called Encyclopedia. So whenever I want to learn a new area, I just go into the Encyclopedia, open it up, and the videos, the readings material, and some other sources were available for me to read and to understand the whole concept. And at that time, that's a very good chance for me to learn the vocabulary. Another source for me to learn vocabulary is to learn from the official tests like TOEFL or IELTS, because the books are designed very professional way and logical way for the students to learn vocabulary. So the very good tips is to study vocabulary, spend times a day. You can study 10 or 20 words a day, and remember to try to apply these words into your writing or even into your speaking in front of the mirror, or you are speaking with your friends. Try to remember and use these words, or else it's very easy for you to forget the word. Alright, so in this video, I share 3 tips and I hope that you remember 3 tips. The tip number 1, practice listening. And if you're not good at listening at the first time, try the passive listening. Listen to audio, video, YouTube channel, any media platform, like 4 to 10 hours a day. And after 6 months or 1 year, you will see you probably change your English skill a lot. I mean, improve your English skill much faster than you think. And the number 2 is to focus and learn pronunciation and intonation, because you will understand the way that the American talk. It makes your life easier for people to understand you and for you to communicate with the other. And number 3, and also a very important factor for you to understand and to practice, is to learn vocabulary. It's not as difficult and as hard that you think. Just make your learning journey as enjoyable as possible, and then one day you'll find yourself very good at English and you're like mastering English. So I hope that this video will help you a little bit with the motivation for you to learn speaking skill, because it's not difficult at all. Just practice, spend time listening, learn vocabulary, and learn pronunciation and accent. Okay, so if you like this video, please subscribe me on my YouTube channel with the button below, and try to write the comments below that you like my video. And please go into my website at fatamhai.com. There are tons of free lessons about pronunciation, intonation, and also vocabulary available in my website. So I hope that all of my work and my contribution for your learning journey can help you with your English. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope I can see you in the next video. Thank you.